Tonight on ATV News, the President visits the Queen, the Virginia Governor signs an interesting executive order, and dogs will be taking over the Quad. I'm Kelly Connor, and this is ATV News. On Thursday, April 21st, Queen Elizabeth II celebrated her 90th birthday with her family, as well as crowds of people who lined the streets of Windsor, England in the Queen's honor. Citizens praised the Queen for her steadfast dedication to her nation, a nation she has served for nearly two-thirds of her life. Following Thursday's festivities, Her Majesty welcomed the Obamas to Windsor Palace for a celebratory lunch on Friday. The President and the First Lady then traveled to Kensington Palace, where they visited the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, their son Prince George, and Prince Harry. Now we go to Tony Peak with the latest in entertainment.
Hello everybody, I'm Tony Peak and I'll be giving you the latest entertainment headlines from this week. Sadly, Hollywood has experienced the loss of two iconic figures. Musical genius and incredible lyricist Prince has passed away at the age of 57. Medics were called to the late singer's Paisley Park estate in Minnesota on Thursday after a possible death was reported. After further investigation, it was confirmed that it was Prince who had passed. His death comes as a shock because Prince showcased his talents just last week in an intimate concert at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. He apologized for not feeling well, but that didn't stop him from belting out his greatest hits. In the time leading up to his passing, it was noted that the singer had been suffering from the flu, and that he did make a trip to the hospital, but was receiving proper care to get him back on the mend. The Purple Rain crooner also had a bad hip that needed surgery, but no one would expect all of this to lead to his death. An autopsy has been performed, but the results won't be made public for several weeks. We will miss you, Prince. You have been an inspiration for many. Rest in peace. World Wrestling Entertainment icon China Joni Lore has also passed away, also being found in her Los Angeles home on Wednesday. The ninth wonder of the world was just 45 years old. The news comes days after China communicated to her fans about some strange behavior she had planned on doing, such as reenacting a death scene from the movie Psycho in her home, and also posting a picture where she had a black eye. But China still insisted that she was in a good place. The cause of the late wrestler's death is still unknown. The WWE community has taken time to express their sadness regarding China's untimely death. Rest in peace, China. Now on to some lighter news. Perfect couple, model and author Chrissy Teigen and her Grammy-winning hubby, John Legend, are now parents to a beautiful baby girl named Luna Simone Stevens. Her birth comes after the couple spent years trying to conceive, so when the couple announced that after a successful round of fertility treatments that they were going to be parents, we were all overwhelmed with joy. Baby Luna has already made appearances on her parents' Instagrams and even her mommy Snapchat. It looks like these new parents are settling into their roles quite nicely. Congrats. It was also reported that singer Adam Levine and his wife, model Bahati Prinsloo, are expecting a little baby girl. Oh, what a gorgeous baby that will be. Now, time for a little controversy. Michael Strahan, who has spent the last 4 years next to Kelly Ripa as co-host of Live with Kelly and Michael, announced on Tuesday that he will be leaving Live to go to Good Morning America full-time. This came as a shock to viewers who have grown to love this pair together. But it was reported that the person who was most shocked by this announcement was actually his co-host. Multiple sources confirmed that Ripa was livid when she found out the news because she allegedly was not given the news ahead of time. Ripa is out on a previously booked vacation with her family, but viewers are anxiously waiting to hear her take on the situation, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. For all of you Bachelor, Bachelorette fans out there, you can take a big sigh of relief. ABC has announced that JoJo will return to our TV screens as America's Next Bachelorette on May 23rd, where she will be on the quest to find love after her heartbreak she endured with Bachelor Ben Higgins. I can't wait. Speaking of beautiful women, actress Jennifer Aniston has been named People Magazine's Most Beautiful Women of 2016. Congrats, Jen. That's all for ATV Entertainment. I'm Tony Peak. Now back to you, Kelly.
Thanks, Tony. As celebrities and fans alike take to Twitter to mourn the loss of Prince, it's clear that he will surely be missed. 8 people who were shot and killed in 4 different houses in Ohio were discovered on Friday, April 22nd. All of the people were members of the Roden family, and their houses were within miles of each other. Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine reported that the Piketon Police Department is searching for the murderer, whom they suspect poses a threat to the remaining members of the Roden family. Since Ohio borders Pennsylvania, Governor John Kasich's response to this tragedy could determine his performance in the Pennsylvania primary next Tuesday. And for the Politics Report, we turn to Chris Schneider.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm Chris Schneider with the final ATV politics segment of the school year. This week, the state of New York held its primary for both parties. On the Republican side, Donald Trump won handily in his home state, taking over 60% of the vote. Hillary Clinton also took her home state, besting Bernie Sanders by 16%. This primary did not go off without a hitch, with 100,000 voters allegedly unable to cast ballots in the Democratic primary due to apparent errors in the New York City Board of Elections register in Brooklyn. The New York Attorney General and the New York City Comptroller is investigating. The chief clerk of the Brooklyn Board of Elections office was suspended without pay pending the outcome of the investigations. On Thursday, it was announced by the Treasury Department that abolitionist Harriet Tubman will replace President Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. The move comes nearly a year after Treasury Secretary Jack Lew initially proposed removing Alexander Hamilton from the $10 bill to make way for a woman. That plan drew a great deal of public criticism. Hamilton will remain on the 10, joined by 5 women from the women's suffrage movement, including Alice Paul and Susan B. Anthony on the back. The $5 bill will also be updated. President Abraham Lincoln will remain on the front, with figures that held historic events at the Lincoln Memorial, including Eleanor Roosevelt and Marian Anderson, 2 important individuals in the push for the civil rights movement, on the back. The memorial was the site of a 1939 concert in support of the civil rights movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will also appear on the back of the $5 bill. The Treasury and the Bureau of Engraving have not set release dates for the new currency, but it could take up to a decade according to reports. On Friday, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe signed an executive order restoring voting rights to over 200,000 convicted felons. The move grants citizens who have served their sentence and completed parole the right to vote, run for public office, and serve on juries. Virginia Republicans pounced, calling the order politically motivated and opportunist. Elsewhere, Secretary of State John Kerry joined other world leaders in New York on Friday to sign the Paris Agreement on climate change. This was symbolic as the United States and other signatory nations celebrated the 46th Earth Day. The agreement was negotiated in November and provides for significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. The first evaluations of the agreement's effectiveness will come in 2023, when the United Nations will make recommendations to countries on how to continue or reform their climate programs. Finally, this week, there will be 5 primaries taking place. On Tuesday, April 26th, voters in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Delaware will cast their votes for primaries. As always, check your state's elections website for details on registering and requesting an absentee ballot. Over the summer, there will be even more primaries, going through June 14th. Make sure you exercise your right to vote. That's all from me. I'm Chris Schneider with ATV Politics. Have a great summer.
Thanks, Chris. It's no surprise that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump won the New York primary, being that they're both the front runners in this presidential election, and they've been popular personalities in New York for years. On Friday, April 22nd, Governor Terry McAuliffe signed an executive order that grants more than 200,000 ex-felons in Virginia the right to vote in November's presidential election. The governor has already received criticism from Republicans throughout the state, but McAuliffe said that once citizens serve their time in prison and finish their supervised parole, he believes they should return to the Commonwealth as full citizens. This executive order also grants ex-felons the right to serve on juries and to run for public offices. Now let's go to Amaya Gomez with the latest from around the world.
Thanks, Kelly. Hello, I'm Amaya Gomez, and this is your World News segment. In Mexico, women are encouraging sexual assault victims to speak up. Latin American feminists started the social media campaign #NoTeCalles, or Don't Stay Silent, and released a video with 3 victims from highly publicized cases. According to a 2010 United Nations report, Mexico is considered one of the most dangerous countries for women, and activists are using social media to encourage women to fight the cultural climate of victim blaming. China's government warns workers about dating handsome foreigners who may be acting as spies. Beijing launched a campaign this month to raise awareness about foreigners after a Chinese man was sentenced to death for providing classified documents to a foreign agent. A 16-panel cartoon poster, which provides a hotline to call, tells the story of an attractive Chinese woman being wooed by a handsome foreigner. Although many Chinese citizens thought this to be a joke, the government says this should not be taken lightly. In Venezuela, the government has announced that it will sanction 40 blackouts in an effort to conserve energy. The power will go out for 4 hours per day for 40 days. Venezuelans are frustrated that this will be another burden since the country is also experiencing economic issues. Although the government blames the El Niño weather pattern and the drought, people are blaming the current issues on corrupt officials and mismanagement. That has been your World News Report. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Amaya. Being that it's National Sexual Assault Awareness Month here in the United States, it's appropriate that Mexico is finally starting to fight for its sexual assault victims. Hopefully, we can be of assistance to them. Do you need relief from the stress of finals week? Visit the Quad on Tuesday, April 26th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. to play with dogs. You can also purchase popsicles on the Quad. Proceeds will benefit Eagle Endowment. That's it for this week's news and the last broadcast of the semester. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Kelly Connor. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next fall.